Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we have the Tuson Tire Pressure Monitoring System ball sensors. If you're not familiar with tire pressure monitoring systems, or TPMS, these are systems you add to your trailer tires. That way, when you're driving down the road, since you can't see your tires, much less know if something goes wrong with them, this way you can monitor everything from your vehicle. Now, what Tuson's ball sensors do is they do things a little differently. Rather than working and messing around with your valve stems on your tires, instead these are sensors that go straight inside your tire, and then you start rolling and driving. What happens is a ball will start rotating around with your tire, and once you pick enough speed, they'll stick to the wall of your tire. This position in there allows them to accurately and quickly send you information about the temperature as well as the pressure of your tire. And all this can be monitored from your cab. These are going to be a special type of system, and they do have special features. So other than being a ball sensor compared to a valve stem sensor, they do have special benefits too. The main one is going to be, have you ever seen those valve stem sensors? They're pretty visible, and they're also pretty easy to just steal right off of the tire. Since these are stored inside of the tire, that takes away that problem. The next thing is that they have a really long lifespan, up to 5 years if you drive about 4 hours a day. So that's going to be pretty much the lifetime or lifespan of your trailer tires anyways. And finally, they do have a really high PSI or tire pressure range. So this can monitor up to 203 PSI. There are some downsides too. The price point for these ball sensors are going to be a little higher compared to valve stem sensors, and it is going to be a bigger investment. But on the other hand, you are protecting that investment inside your tire. On that note too, these are going to take a little bit more of an effort to get these installed. You may have to take your tires over to your local tire shop for them to insert that bead into the tire and then mount the tire back onto your wheel. So with that in mind, valve stems aren't that easy to install either. They do have a tendency to break off when installing tire pressure monitoring systems. I know from experience, so both come with their pros and cons. These systems are going to be automotive grade. They are made of this really strong material. They're going to be a large ball about this large. You'll see them as we install them into the trailer tires. So on that note, please make sure to get as many as you need for your trailer. You can find them here at etrailer in a kit from as many as 2 all the way up to 10 for those different trailer sizes. These are going to be a large, dense ball that will move along with your tire. So when you're concerned about durability, the main thing is that when you move fast enough, they're sticking to your sidewall and not moving as much as you would think. Compared to valve stem sensors that are exposed to the outside elements, these are nice and safe inside of there. So on that note, please make sure to get as many as you need for your trailer. In our case here, we only needed 4, so we got a kit of 4. With all that, let's see how we got those installed. So for setting up your sensors, it's going to be very simple, but you do have to remove your tires and take them to a tire shop in order to insert the ball sensor. So the first thing you do before you do anything else is to label your tires before you take them off. Now, I love over-labeling things, so I first put my own label of rear right, but you also get these tire stickers, and you can put your own number on there too. So we're going to match those up with the boxes that the ball sensors come in, because this one already has the driver rear included on the box, but we also match that with our label of the number 3 to match the tire. With all the tires labeled, go ahead and take them to your local tire shop, and we're going to bring this over to our tech friend and have him install them.
First process is breaking the front bead down of the wheel here. You will have to break it down in multiple spots. And put it up on the tire machine here. And then pull off the top bead over here. And then pull out the bead out of the box. Pull up the top lip and just drop it in. Re-lube your top bead. And then air up the tire to the manufacturer's specs. Reinsert the valve port tool. And then finish topping off the pressure to the designed PSI.
With all that done, we're bringing our tires back just to get them back onto our trailer. With that lined up, we're going to mount these in place for now before we torque them down later. And don't forget that whenever you are putting your trailer tires back on, that everything is torqued down properly. You're also going to set up your repeater. Now, depending on your trailer, you're gonna have different spots you could put this repeater. The main thing you need to look out for is that there's an arrow here that says trailer side. You want that facing your trailer wheels or your trailer. The other side is gonna be your cable. This will be headed towards your tow vehicle, and this will be connecting to your battery. So you wanna make sure it's not too far away where this won't connect. A spot we found that works best was right underneath our battery brackets here on our frame. And we're just going to temporarily mount this with our cable ties. So we can utilize these holes just to wrap around our brackets. This is just a temporary mount just to double check that everything works well and the signals transmit as well as receive. If it works well later on, then you're gonna go ahead and use that adhesive as well as use mounting screws to secure it more permanently to your frame. Now before connecting this to our battery, we're first gonna check that there's a fuse in there. We're gonna pop that fuse out and then we're gonna connect. Fortunately, our battery here makes it really easy to attach the ring terminals. So like a lot of other things, connect the red terminal to the positive side and then the black to your ground or the negative side. Don't forget to put the fuse back in and then make sure it's nice and covered. Hopping into our towing vehicle, we're gonna find a spot for the monitor. And for me, I like a spot where it doesn't block my view. It's not too distracting, but I can still easily see it. So right over here on the left seems like a good spot. I know some people like to put it over by the rear view mirror because of the wires, whichever makes most sense to you. So we're gonna tighten down our different knobs to the configuration we want it in. This has a little suction cup, so we're going to utilize that. Make sure that your spot on the window is clean. You may have to wash it or put some water if it doesn't stick. And then just suction this in place. This includes a cord that plugs into your 12-volt system. We're going to plug that in. Plug the other end underneath your monitor. Press the big red button to turn on the system. You'll also have an LED light indicator. When you press that button, the monitor will turn on almost instantly. Now we're going to be going for a little drive to test out our sensors, so I'm going to leave our monitor over here so you can still see it. So we hit 50 miles per hour and we finally have all tires up to spec. So you can see that they're all in green. Earlier we had some in red, but it's 64 all around. This is set to automatically cycle between the different functions. So you can either see your tire pressure, or you can see your temperature of your sensors, and then the final setting is going to be the voltage of your battery on your trailer. Now, if at any time you want to hold it to a setting, you just press that menu button and it will stay on that screen. When you want to cycle it back through, you press the menu button again and it will continue that cycle. So while driving around, everything was very normal and within the specs, so no alarms went off. But what do you do in order to set those alarms off? So we're going to press the menu button for 3 seconds, and then this is going to switch us over to our settings menu. So here we have the option to cycle between 1, 2, 3 settings for vehicle and trailer combinations. We can also set our individual sensors. See that right over there? And then you can also set the temperature you want it to display. You can set for your tire pressure, and then here we have the number of sensors. So if you want to press OK, you can adjust the sensor numbers. So if you have a trailer with 8 tires, all the way up to 10 tires, and all the way as low as 2 tires. For your alarms, you have a default setting. Let's go to the temperature. And our default setting is going to be Fahrenheit, and that one's set to 176 degrees. So if the temperature of your tires go past 176 degrees Fahrenheit, an alarm will sound. Now that's really warm, so we're going to bring this all the way down to 122. That makes us more likely to hear an alarm from our monitor. So when that looks good all around, we're then going to make that save. We're going to do the same thing for our tire pressure. So we can first pick between the different units. We'll stick with PSI. And then we can set our PSI setting. So 80. Once the pressure in our tires goes 50% past that setting, it then will start an alarm. So 80 is pretty good for our standard default setting. Knowing those different specs, whether it's the temperature or the pressure of our tires, is helpful because then we know if we have high pressure or low pressure, meaning a low tire. Now, there is something that I am really happy to see, which is that a low tire pressure usually matches up with a high temperature. But if you notice that the temperature of your tire seems pretty high, but the pressure seems pretty normal, that can say that there's something else going on. Maybe your bearings or your brake components may have some fault to them. So this not only monitors your tire, but also allows you to monitor the health of the entire wheel. With this mounted to your window, a lot of people like to keep it in the temperature screen just because that is a pretty easy gauge of if something is going wrong. But if even that is distracting, you can go ahead and turn that screen off by holding down the OK button for 3 seconds. This will turn the screen off, but you can turn it back on by pressing any of the buttons, or if an alarm goes off, this will turn back on. Now, finally, when you're done driving, you're parked, you're ready to hang out at the campsite, I do recommend just going ahead and pressing that bright red button on your power. That will turn the whole system off and help preserve your vehicle's battery. This will time out eventually, but this is just going to be an easier and more reliable way of turning the system off. This is a bit of a unique product, but I like them. I like how long they last, especially with the concept that they're gonna last as long as my trailer tires do. So when you change out your tires, just go ahead and order a new set of ball sensors so that those can be mounted in your tires before your tires get mounted to your trailer. All those different specs and stats that these sensors monitor, the temperature, the pressure, and even the battery voltage of your trailer battery is super helpful for that peace of mind as you're driving down the road. So hopefully this video helped you out, helped explain how this works, how to get them installed, and helps you decide if they are the right fit for you and your adventures. My name is Evangeline, and I hope you enjoyed the journey. We just saw the Tuson Towable tire pressure monitor systems with ball sensors here at etrailer.com.